Today I want to give you my view about why those people don't trust the dealers. There is a number of reasons why that may happen. I used to work on dealers, and I know a secret or two inside there, and I want to share this with you. I'm going to do this by topics, and you will see at the end everything will be connected. Everything will be connected as one. This is my view of the problem of the dealers. It can be wonderful and it can be terrible. First of all, you want to think, who wants to work on the dealer? Normally the dealer is, at least in Portugal, it's not very difficult to be employed on the dealers, but they pay really bad, really the minimum wage. And the minimum wage in Portugal at this time is 600 euros. Not a lot. And so you are employing people that just want the minimum wage, don't care really much about cars or their job really, because it's a sure thing, okay? At least in my view, in my experience here in Portugal. Around the world, I think it's kind of the same, but you can tell me on the comments below how it is really, and also depends on the brand that the dealer represents and so on. But we will get there. So I have here a few topics that I want to talk about. The dealers have the obligation by the brands to sell, and they have to sell cars and parts. Parts not so much, but cars, they have to meet a minimum requirement for month. That is why sometimes you can find a lot of cars that have 0 kilometers or 0 miles or 1,000 kilometers or 1,000 miles, but they are new. That is a great deal, guys. You have the warranty from factory, and the price of the car is really lower at least. So that is the best deal you can have, is to have a car that is owned by the dealer itself, because they have to license the cars to make the sales of the month. And here is where the problems start. You have the pressure of the brands to do the sales, and you have inside the dealer the pressure to make the sales as well. The more you sell, the more warranties you have to make on the shop part of the dealer. And of course, we are on the front line. I was on the front lines of the problems. Many of the problems that I encountered and solved while I was on the dealer, it was problems that no one had ever in the world. We were connected 100% of the time with the factory. We were connected by a lot of means, but mainly, for example, on the hybrids, the diesel hybrids of PSA I work on, many of the problems that we had, it was software problems, and we were constantly connected to the factory. Not even the guys that made that cars on the factory really know how to solve those problems. So it was a combined effort to solve the problems between us, the factory, and the final result, the customer. Now, the customer expects some quality on the service, some quality on the product as well, but sometimes that is not possible, and that is where the pressure inside the dealer may start to appear. If the guys that run the dealer don't understand a thing about the technical part of the cars, cannot ever do a great job of running a dealer. And as they don't understand, they think the problem is not theirs, okay? It's ours. The technicians are bullshit. These technicians don't understand any of this, and it is sometimes can be true, okay? But most of the time it is not. As a technician of a dealer and also on the multi-brand shops, you have access to a lot of information, and you have access to information that no one in the world has. I had information about 5 years ago that only now is starting to come up, only now people are facing the problem with the internal combustion engine. That is not news to me at all. I knew that for a long time now, because the brands have to think of these things at long term. Okay, so it is crucial for the technician to be informed about everything, about the new technologies and the new decisions that are being made on the automotive field. Okay, and that is very nice until everything that you learn as a technician inside and out of the dealers is completely turned down and not valued by the owners of the dealers. Here in Portugal, in Europe, the dealers are private. They only represent a group of brands or a group of a group like PSA, FCA, and Volkswagen Group, for example. So they have interests inside their own agenda. So they want to sell, okay, but also they don't understand the technical part of things, and they don't want to understand. So they think the problem is not theirs, okay? Like I said on the beginning of the video, sometimes guys enter the dealers, work on dealers, but they really don't care about the brand they are working on. They just care about the payment at the end of the month, and sometimes that can lead to creating a disgusting taste about the brand that you are working on. I kind of had that problem when I work on the dealer. I had Peugeot and Alfa Romeo. About Peugeot, I was it's not like we say in Portuguese, it's not meat or fish. It's not one thing or another. And with the years passing by, I really can solve a lot of problems on PSA cars, but I don't like them. They are too difficult to work on. There are things that they do that make no sense at all. But it is what it is. About Alfa Romeo, I have that typical thinking about, Alfa Romeo is not a good brand, it's just problems, electrical problems. Not at all, not at all. I was really surprised about the easiness of working on those cars, about the facility to do so much things. Equal jobs that you do on the PSA car, on the FCA car, is much easier for me on the Alfa Romeo FCA car. So I had both experiences. So if you have a bad experience, you will say that the car is rubbish, the car doesn't fulfill the things that you want to think and say about the brand, and that mind state will transpire to the final customer. It may seem far-fetched, but it's not. We have to talk about with the customers through the procedures of preparing the car, and if you have that oh my god, what's happening? Dust on the road. If you have that mind state that the brand it's not good, the customer will feel that, will absorb that. So sometimes the dealers, they should choose better who is working on their brand. Now, as you may understand, there are consequences for these problems inside the dealer. If you have a technician that is not happy with his job for whatever reason, you will have an unhappy customer, and this is a ball of snow on every dealers. That it's really like a disease, and we have to be very careful, because if the customer absorbs that negativity, in short, if you have low sales, if you have dealers left and right closing doors, there is no surviving that. This is not just a localized problem, this is global. If you have low sales, You will not have parts in the future. You just have that 10 years that is mandatory to have it. And guys that have cars that have more than 10 years start to say this car brand sucks because there is no parts, there is no quality, there is no nothing. And the problem is at the beginning of the sale of the car. There are more problems that I will tell you about on this video. That is about the salesmen. That is very critical, that part. I have an idea that some brands do that. Some brands say to their dealers, look, you have to do things this way, in order to guarantee the satisfaction of the client. Some brands do it for the sales, some brands do it for the technical side, and others, for example, I know Ford keeps counting of their stock. Even though the stock is private, they have access, and they say you lack that parts, those parts there. You have to have a minimum of 5 parts, or 10, or 50, or 100, and you don't have it. They will send it without you even ask it. I think that is correct. The dealer that is stuck with a Ford representation may not think so, because they have to pay that, of course. But there is a bigger view than just one dealer. The brand has to see the globalization of all dealers. That is the start of the commitment with the client. If the start of the commitment with the client is not so good, the client will never be happy, never. Even if you don't buy a new car, if you buy a used car, you can still sense that, because okay, this is a cascade effect. If you have low sales, if you have you start to have low quality because they have to cut corners. You start to have less product to offer, less segments, less engines, less solutions, and then that is reflected on the used car market. Okay, if you have, we just have 2 Alfa Romeos for sale, 2 or 3. The Giulia, the Stelvio, the Me2 and the Giulietta are finishing their lines finally. And what do we have more? And why is that? Why do you think that is? Car brands are like big companies. They depend on investment, whether it be government investment, private investment, whatever. They need investment. If they don't have anything to show for in terms of sales, who is going to invest on them? Can you see the ball of snow that is forming here? This is very complicated and very, very dangerous as well. So inside some dealers, I actually myself had this problem, or saw this problem on the dealer that I work on. The owner of the dealer was a group of companies, a big group of companies, a lot of companies, various branches, construction, electronics, lots of things. Sometimes you, as a dealer owner, want to open a dealer for a lot of reasons, but respect for the brand. They don't want to sell cars. They want to clean their money, if I can say so. And I can say so in my case, okay? So, the benefits of having a dealer on your group, on your company groups, is that your wife, your husband, your cousin, your cousin, your friend, your whatever, there is some, and then you can create directors and boards and CEOs and whatever, and you have 100, 200 people that are depending on company cars, company fuel, company money, just to have a better quality of life. And that is wrong, guys. That is very wrong, because it's not sustainable. I really saw that on the years that I passed on my dealer. That is not sustainable at all. Actually, and it is really a big problem, and it's still on courts because of that. So the solution for this, again, in my view, the brands themselves have to be more serious about this. Even though the dealer is private, they have the brands must have higher standards. For example, the Volvo brand. It is very, very difficult to be a Volvo dealer because they have very, very high standards. In my case, my company group, they at last were able to represent Volvo, but it was a struggle, and they demanded a lot of things, and that is correct. The problem is not many dealers want to represent Volvo. I think that is a good way to filter out the bad dealers from the good dealers, because if you really want to sell Volvo, for example, you have to be very good. If you're not, you're just playing around. And I think that is the right procedure for FCA and PSA in the future. They have to, PSA already does a bit of that. They really have to take this serious, the dealer thing, and they have to stop with this nonsense about company cars and company money and company, everything is for the company. And who pays for that? It's the customer, it's the technician, because the technicians have very low salaries. It's shameful. And ultimately, who pays for that? It's the brand. Again, the brand. Just to wrap this up here, I have a story. Again, with the stories, yes, I know, but to make you feel, to make you understand the problem, where the problem starts. So I have a friend of mine with an Alfa 159, bought the car new from a dealer, okay, normal thing, and a certain day, a few weeks later, a few months later, I don't remember, he wants to click on the button to retrieve the side mirrors. Nothing happened. Okay, I will go to my dealer, I will ask for a warranty, and let's see what's what. The dealer could not find the problem. The dealer delayed the problem until the car was out of warranty. It is very common to happen, by the way. And just they don't want anything to do with that. Yes, it could have visit another dealer. Yes, it could, but it didn't. Maybe because it was so involved with that problem. So a certain day he was talking to me about this, and I said to him, "Man, give me your VIN number. I will check here on this website for Fiat. It is not even registered. That website is free, completely free. It's fiatdelis.lt, and we can see almost 100%. We can see all of the parts of the car and the functions that the car has. So the problem was the car never had that system, ever. At the factory, someone by mistake put the wrong assembly for the driver's door, the assembly that has the windows switches and the mirrors and the mirrors buttons, and someone made a mistake, or the computer made a mistake, or some mistake. Okay, now that is normal. I encountered that lots of times on my dealer, and because of that, we are actually pushed to do quality control on dealers. That is correct. That is quite well. Now, how many people lay their hands on that Alfa 159 before the car was delivered to the customer? We have the guy that took it off the truck. We have the guy that took it out of the parking lot to prep it for you. We have the guy that took it to the shop to connect the computer, do a quality check, okay? See if everything works. The third guy here, look at this. We have the salesman that wants to deliver the car himself, and it should. It was him that sold the car. 4 people. at the dealer. 4 people. Not any one of those people check that button. Maybe they do. Maybe they did check that button, and they just said, "I don't care. I don't give a fuck." And that leads us to the first question of this video. Low salaries. Anyone can enter the dealer. They don't care. They just want minimum wage. They don't care about formation. They don't care about information. They just want minimum wage. Because the owner of the dealer is a because my colleagues are this and that. There is no standards on some people that work on dealers. And I think that is very, very bad. In short, working on dealers can be wonderful, but also can be awful. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you like this content. I'm always switching between kinds of content inside the automotive world, inside Alfa Romeo world. That is in fact what I want to do. I want to do everything Alfa Romeo, as I always say, all things Alfa Romeo. And in this case, where does the problem start? Where does the problem of Alfa Romeo does not suck, but some people think it does, and the problem starts right there. The guy that sold that Alfa 159, that told the customer the car had this equipment, this equipment, this equipment. Okay, I want to buy one of those cars, and the guy who did or did not do the quality control and failed, and does not want to care. He doesn't care about anything. The car is on the streets, my job is done. That is so wrong. I think dealers, I think the brands have to really tighten the balls of dealers. There is a new world now about selling cars and repairing cars. This is not the 50s or the 60s anymore. We have to be very careful about quality control. The cars are good and can be better if we treat them nicely, if we treat them with respect. See you next time. Bye.